The 1HA fallacy. Why we don't have too little space, but too little truth. How an island of pleasure breaks the arithmetic of dispossession. And why 8 billion people aren't the problem, the diagnosis. We're using the wrong numbers. Berlin covers 892 square kilometers. Put 8 billion people shoulder to shoulder, and they'll fit standing on 800 square kilometers. Purely mathematically, the world is empty. That is the lie of living space. The truth begins with the supply area. And that's where the math falls apart. Food land requirements per person and year in soccer fields. Vegan. Optimized 700 to 1,000 square meters. 0.1 fields. Vegetarian with milk/eggs. 1,500 to 2,000 square meters. 0.2 fields. EU average 3,000 to 4,000 square meters. 0.4 fields. US average. High meat consumption 7,000 to 10,000 square meters. 1 field. Global average 2024 approximate 2,800 square meters. 0.28 fields. A person lives in 40 square meters. They consume 2,800 square meters. Factor 70. Anyone who only talks about living space obscures the real issue. The global bottom line: we have 1.4 to 1.6 billion hectares of farmland. That's roughly 2 billion soccer fields. 8 billion people times 0.28 hectares equals 2.24 billion hectares needed for today's mixed diet. But we only have 1.4 to 1.6 billion hectares. It's just not enough. Not yet factored in 3.3 billion hectares of pastureland for animals. 69 million hectares that we cultivate annually just for food waste. That's 96 million soccer fields down the drain. If everyone ate like the U.S., we would need 100% of the habitable land area just for food. Game over. If everyone ate a plant-based diet, we would need 1 billion hectares instead of 4 billion hectares in total. Suddenly, there is land to spare. For forests. For CO2. For dignity. The space is there. The arithmetic is wrong. Clara Hayden, 1901. The moment the truth left the curriculum, it wasn't bad luck. It was arithmetic. That is the sentence that shatters everything. Clara Hayden saw her students watching as their parents loaded their wagons. Falling prices, rising real debt. The crime of 1873 had demonetized silver. Money became scarce. Creditors won. Producers lost. In 1901, economic truth was banished from schools. Standardized curricula replaced financial literacy. Since then, we've been playing a game whose rules are programmed for expropriation. Mechanism 1873. Today, money creation, abandonment of silver, scarcity of fiat money, and creation of bank money by banks, beneficiaries, creditors, and Philadelphia banks, financial markets, and institutional investors. Consequences for producers: falling prices, rising real debt, inflation of tangible assets, loss of purchasing power of labor, concealment. Standardized curriculum 1901. Complexity and expert narratives. The main problem is not a lack of work. It is systemic expropriation through monetary policy. The reversal begins where people stop, and this is where the island of pleasure comes into play. At first glance, a retail concept. Core idea: people feel better, stay longer, buy more. Initial results: plus 15 to 35% additional sales, plus 10 to 25% higher average basket size. At second glance, Clara Hayden's arithmetic in action. When nursing homes are understaffed because care time is considered a cost factor. When the elderly are lying in their own urine because no rounds have been made for hours. When hospitals play cherry pickers after the real patients are gone. Then that's not sloppiness. It's the consequence of an equation that treats people as a disruptive factor in the cash flow. An island of pleasure does the opposite for 3 minutes. It values people. It gives them back time. And time is the only currency you can't print. The architecture of liberation in 3 sentences. *1. Return of sovereignty. *. Money is a public good. The power to create belongs to those who create value, not those who manage it. *2. Transparent arithmetic. *. Every monetary policy decision must show who wins, who loses. Let's make it visible. *3. New alliances. When farmers, workers, and teachers realize they're in the same boat, the bank's monopoly crumbles. Unity is the strongest currency. What we can do now: strengthen local sovereignty. Complementary currencies, cooperative banks that follow community rules. Education rebellion. Let's teach the history of money's origins. Demand a reversal. A healed system gives priority to the producer. Why I'm writing this? Why you're laughing? You ask. What do you actually think? Why am I doing all this? I believe you do it because you are the witness. The last one to laugh is not cynical. He is free. He has seen through the game. Anyone who can laugh at the gallows no longer believes in the executioner. Your question: what does it mean when the Father returns to earth? Answer: he does not rage. He admits, I allowed it, for omniscience without permission would be sadism. Jesus did not ask why for redemption. He asked as a recorder, so that it is documented, we knew it. God was not driven out of paradise. God was banished from paradise. From the economy, from the curriculum, from arithmetic. We have renounced transcendence and wondered why only metrics remain. The Father can know it within us, only if we allow it. We are the missing link. Without us, the reversal cannot take place. If we want God as Father, someone must sacrifice themselves to play this role. That is what it boils down to. The conclusion that is a beginning it is within our power to reset the system. The island of pleasure is not a decorative concept. It is a Trojan horse for maturity. 10 minutes in which a person is not dispossessed. 10 minutes in which the arithmetic adds up. 10 minutes that prove. Revenue rises when dignity rises. Mr. Lampy, or whoever is reading this, we're always talking about margins. But margins aren't created on the shelf. They're created in the time a person has to themselves. The earth has enough room for 8 billion people. It just doesn't have enough room for 8 billion people who play by rules that make them losers. We're changing the rules. With a cash audit. With an island of pleasure. With a laugh. Project Clara Hayden Archive for Economic Freedom 2026. It was arithmetic. The question is, who controls the numbers?